Florida is no place to joke about. You are about to find out why millions are running for their dear lives, including retirees. So, Florida. The land of endless sunshine, palm-lined streets, and shuffleboard courts on every corner. The place where retirement dreams supposedly come true. Picture it, golf carts buzzing around like bees at a picnic, retirees sipping umbrella drinks by the pool, and that iconic slogan, no state income tax. Paradise, right? But here's the shocking truth, more and more retirees aren't flocking to Florida anymore. They're fleeing it. Yep, packing up their pastel polos, selling their condos, and saying, hasta la vista, Sunshine State. And you've got to ask yourself, why would anyone abandon the one place that's practically been branded as heaven's waiting room? This is supposed to be the promised land of relaxation, the grand finale of the American dream. Yet, the dream is starting to feel more like a nightmare. Imagine standing on that perfect white sandy beach, watching the sunset turn the sky into a masterpiece. It's beautiful, almost surreal. You're thinking, I've made it. This is the good life. And then, bam, you check your mailbox. Property tax hikes. Sky-high insurance bills. Suddenly, your beachfront paradise feels less like a retirement win and more like a financial trap. And let's not forget the fine print nobody brags about at the retirement seminars. Hurricanes that turn your dream home into kindling. Mosquitoes the size of drones. Alligators strolling through your backyard like they own the HOA. And traffic? Let's just say, if you thought rush hour ended when you left your job, Florida's here to remind you, you thought wrong. This isn't just about a few grumpy snowbirds. We're talking thousands of retirees making the decision to leave the place that's supposed to be their final stop. And when that many people start walking away from a paradise, you know there's more to the story. So buckle up, because we're diving into the real reasons retirees are abandoning Florida, and trust me, some of these will have you rethinking your own dream retirement plan. By the way, if you've ever thought about retiring in Florida, or anywhere else, hit that like button so YouTube knows this is worth sharing. Reason number 1, the cost of living ain't cheap anymore. Florida once had this golden reputation as the retirement bargain. The pitch was simple, sell your house up north for a nice profit, head south, and suddenly you're living like royalty. You'd buy a condo with palm trees swaying outside the balcony, have money left for endless rounds of golf, bingo nights with the neighbors, and maybe even a boat parked out back. It was the dream, affordable, sunny, and simple. But fast forward to today, and that dream feels more like an illusion. Prices have exploded. Housing costs? Forget about it. Those cheap condos now come with price tags that make retirees do a double take. Property taxes and HOA fees aren't exactly shrinking either. And let's not even start on insurance. Homeowners in Florida are paying some of the highest premiums in the nation. For many retirees, the insurance alone feels like a second mortgage. And here's the kicker, it's not just the big bills draining wallets. It's everyday life. Groceries, gas, dining out, everything has inched upward until it's practically sprinting. Imagine walking into a grocery store for a carton of eggs and realizing it costs more than a bucket of balls at the golf range. Or filling up the tank of your car and feeling like you just bought shares in an oil company. Now, keep in mind, retirees aren't rolling in paychecks anymore. They're on fixed incomes, pensions, or savings. And while Social Security adjusts for inflation, it doesn't exactly keep pace with skyrocketing insurance rates and skyrocketing housing costs. The math just doesn't add up. And here's where it stings most. Florida sold itself as the land where your money would stretch further. That was the sales pitch. But when retirees realize they're pinching pennies just to make it through the month, the sparkle starts to fade. Paradise isn't supposed to feel this expensive. So instead of enjoying their golden years sipping margaritas on the patio, a lot of folks are budgeting like college students, cutting corners, skipping luxuries, even moving back in with family just to make ends meet. That's not retirement. That's survival. And when you hit that point, when your supposed dream life feels like a financial trap, what do? You start looking around. You start wondering if maybe, just maybe, Tennessee, the Carolinas, or even the Midwest might offer more peace of mind than this so-called paradise. But let's say you're one of the determined ones. You've got savings, you've got discipline, and you find a way to make the dollars stretch. Great, you survive the financial squeeze. But Florida isn't done testing you yet. Because even if you beat the bills, you still have to face something else. Something that doesn't just hit your wallet, it comes roaring straight out of the sky. Reason number 2, the hurricane hustle. Here's the part nobody puts on the postcard. Florida may brag about 300 days of sunshine, but those other 65? They'll keep you up at night. Retirees move down expecting palm trees and poolside naps, but what they often find is an annual, high-stakes game I like to call Dodge the Storm. It starts innocently enough. You're sipping coffee one morning, flipping through channels, and suddenly the local meteorologist's smile drops. There it is, the swirling mass out in the Atlantic, with your zip code right in its crosshairs. And just like that, your golden years turn into prepper mode. You're not planning golf outings, you're planning evacuation routes. Instead of a shopping trip for sunscreen and flip-flops, it's a mad dash for bottled water, canned goods, and batteries. You're in line at Home Depot with plywood sheets strapped to your cart, praying they don't run out before you get to the register. And don't even get me started on the anxiety of seeing Jim Cantor from the Weather Channel show up in your neighborhood. If he's there, you might as well pack it up, because you know it's about to get ugly. And let's be real, it's not just the storm itself. Hurricanes leave scars that stick around long after the winds die down. Flooded streets, trees down across power lines, and days, sometimes weeks, without electricity. Picture yourself sweating it out in 95-degree heat, no air conditioning, fridge full of spoiled food, and a flashlight as your only friend. Not exactly the relax and enjoy life brochure you signed up for, is it? Then comes the money drain. Roof repairs. Insurance claims. Deductibles so high you wonder why you even have coverage in the first place. For retirees on a fixed income, every hurricane season is like spinning a roulette wheel. Will this year wipe out my savings, or will I just get lucky? And here's the thing, this isn't a once-in-a-lifetime event anymore. Climate change is making storms more frequent, more intense, and more unpredictable. Instead of living in a paradise, retirees start to feel like they're camping out in a disaster zone that resets every summer. So what happens? The stress piles up. The repairs pile up. And eventually, retirees who thought Florida would bring them peace realize it's actually delivering chaos. They wanted calm, not constant crisis management. But let's say you're stubborn. You hunker down, you ride it out, you patch the roof, and you tell yourself, I can survive the hurricanes. Good for you. But here's the twist, storms aren't the only thing Florida throws your way. Because once the sky's clear, you've still got something else to battle. And no, it's not your neighbor stealing your flamingo lawn ornaments. It's something much creepier. Quick pause here, if you're enjoying this breakdown of Florida's retirement reality, make sure you subscribe, because I've got a video coming up about the America's happiest places to call home. You don't want to miss it. Reason number 3, the critters from your nightmares. Welcome to Florida, where the wildlife doesn't just visit, it moves in. Retirees dream of sunshine, sandy beaches, and peaceful backyards. What they don't dream of? Sharing that backyard with a prehistoric lizard the size of a kayak. Let's start small, mosquitoes. And when I say small, I mean Florida mosquitoes are basically flying drones with a taste for retirees on blood thinners. You step outside for 5 minutes, and you're suddenly the main course at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Forget peaceful evening strolls, the second the sun goes down, it's like stepping into a scene from Jurassic Park, Mosquito Edition. But the bugs are just the warm-up act. Because in Florida, the alligators aren't shy. These aren't once-in-a-lifetime sightings, they're practically your neighbors. They wander golf courses like they've got a tea time. They show up in swimming pools like invited guests. Imagine walking outside, towel in hand, ready for a relaxing dip, only to find a gator stretched out in your lounge chair, catching some rays. That's not retirement bliss, that's a Discovery Channel episode waiting to happen. And then, of course, there are the pythons. Thanks to a booming invasive species problem, South Florida has become ground zero for giant snakes slithering through neighborhoods, wetlands, and, yes, sometimes garages. Retirees move to Florida expecting shuffleboard, not a surprise Indiana Jones moment when they open the door to grab a soda. The reality is this: Florida's critters aren't just quirky, they're stressful. For retirees looking for peace, it's hard to relax when you're constantly checking the bushes for movement or slapping mosquitoes every 10 seconds. These aren't the kind of neighbors you can just politely ignore. And while some folks brush it off with, well, that's just Florida life, for many retirees, it's a deal breaker. Because let's be honest, retirement should be about relaxing, not keeping one eye on the pool and the other on a gator lurking in the canal behind your house. But hey, maybe you're tough. Maybe you shrug and say, bring on the alligators, bring on the snakes, I can handle it. Well, okay, Rambo, but can you handle this next problem? Because it's not about what's crawling in your yard, it's about something far more personal, your health. Reason number 4, healthcare struggles. Now here's the part that really makes retirees scratch their heads. You'd think Florida, home to more retirees than anywhere else in the country, would have healthcare running like a well-oiled machine, right? I mean, this is the state that basically markets itself as the retirement capital of America. You'd expect every corner to have a world-class clinic, every hospital to be ready with open arms, and specialists just waiting by the phone. But nope. That's not the reality on the ground. What retirees actually find is overcrowded hospitals, endless wait times, and appointment calendars that are booked out further than your grandkid's graduation date. You need a cardiologist? Better plan ahead, way ahead. You need a specialist for arthritis or joint replacements? That might take months. And let's be honest, time is a precious commodity when you're retired. It's not just the delays either. Florida's population boom means healthcare workers are stretched thin. Some of the best doctors are overloaded, and finding one who even accepts new patients can feel like a scavenger hunt. And for retirees with ongoing conditions, diabetes, heart issues, mobility problems, that's not just inconvenient, it's a deal breaker. Imagine waking up with a bad flare of arthritis and being told the next available appointment is 3 months away. Sunshine may warm your bones, but it won't fix your joints. Imagine needing urgent care and sitting in a waiting room for 6 hours just to get rushed through a 5-minute visit. That's not quality healthcare, that's survival of the fittest, and let's face it, retirees didn't move to Florida to fight for a spot in line. And the irony? Florida built its reputation on being the place for seniors, but in reality, the sheer number of seniors is overwhelming the system. So instead of feeling cared for, retirees feel like they're just another name on an overcrowded chart. For many, that's the moment the dream shatters. Because what good is paradise if you can't even get a doctor to see you when you need it? And while the doctor's office may keep you waiting, there's one thing Florida never makes you wait for: traffic. Oh yeah, it's always there, like an uninvited guest that just refuses to leave. Reason 5, traffic and overcrowding. Remember when Florida had that reputation as a sleepy retirement haven? A place where you could sip coffee on the porch, wave to your neighbor across the palm-lined street, and actually hear the birds singing because life moved at a slower pace. Well, those days are gone. Florida has exploded into one of the most overcrowded states in the country. What used to feel like a laid-back paradise now feels more like Times Square with palm trees. Take the roads, for example. Daily traffic jams aren't just a city problem anymore, they've spilled over into neighborhoods and suburbs. And if you've ever had the misfortune of driving on Orlando's I-4, you know exactly what I mean. It's like stepping into a never-ending Mario Kart game, except here, everyone forgot how to drive, and the stakes aren't just a blue shell, it's your bumper. Retirees who came here dreaming of stress-free drives to the beach or a quiet grocery run now find themselves trapped in endless gridlock, burning time, patience, and gas money. And let's talk about those beaches. Once upon a time, retirees could take a peaceful morning walk along stretches of sand with hardly another soul in sight. Now, it's wall-to-wall umbrellas, packed parking lots, and the sound of jet skis roaring louder than the waves. The simple pleasure of finding peace and solitude by the ocean is becoming a rare luxury. Add to that the influx of new residents, families, tourists, and snowbirds all competing for the same roads, restaurants, and hospital appointments, and suddenly Florida feels less like a retirement haven and more like a never-ending spring break destination. The quiet escape retirees dreamed about has been replaced by crowds, commotion, and constant congestion. So, when you add it all up, skyrocketing costs, devastating hurricanes, wildlife that looks like it belongs in Jurassic Park, healthcare headaches, and now traffic and overcrowding, you start to see the bigger picture. For many retirees, Florida isn't the dream they were promised. It's become a stressful, expensive, and overcrowded reality. And that's why more and more of them are packing their bags, waving goodbye to the Sunshine State, and searching for a true retirement paradise elsewhere. Now here's the million-dollar question: if retirees are abandoning Florida, where exactly are they heading? The answer might surprise you. More and more retirees are swapping palm trees for pine trees, leaving behind the Sunshine State's chaos for quieter corners of the Carolinas, the rolling hills of Tennessee, and even some tucked-away gems in the Midwest. Why? Simple. These places offer something Florida no longer can: affordability, peace, and a sense of community without the constant noise of overcrowding and skyrocketing expenses. Think about it. In the Carolinas, you can still find charming small towns with walkable main streets, friendly neighbors, and mountain views that don't come with an evacuation plan every hurricane season. Tennessee has become another magnet: lower taxes, wide open spaces, and a slower pace of life where the loudest thing you'll hear is a country song drifting from your neighbor's porch. And yes, even the Midwest, long overlooked, is starting to shine again for retirees who want a simpler, more affordable lifestyle without giving up comfort or quality of life. It's a fascinating shift, isn't it? Florida used to be the no-brainer retirement dream. But today, more and more people are realizing that paradise isn't just about beaches and sunshine, it's about peace of mind. And that peace of mind can sometimes be found in places you'd never expect. So let me throw this question back to you: if you had to retire tomorrow, would you still pick Florida with its hurricanes, traffic, and rising costs? Or would you grab your golf clubs, pack your bags, and escape to a mountain town, a quiet lakefront cottage, or maybe a hidden gem in the heartland? I want to hear from you. Drop your answer down in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious who's still Team Sunshine State and who's already Googling mountain cabins for sale. And hey, before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you learned something new today. It really helps the channel and lets me know these breakdowns are valuable to you. And if you want more eye-opening deep dives into the places people are flocking to, and the ones they're running from, make sure to subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and remember, in Florida, always watch out for gators, and stay hurricane ready.